Now we should go into Q&A,
Hmm.
specific question and answers, specific case studies. So some of the attendees today, Sendil, are high net worth. High net worth meaning a lot of assets are there, less liabilities, high net worth individuals, because they worked in IT industry for 20 years, 30 years, and all that stuff. Some of them are doctors, chartered accountants, CFOs are there, okay, NRIs, entrepreneurs, who have spent their entire career and built some good businesses, made some money. So there's a lot of wealth is there. Very happy, when you look at any occasion and all, they'll be extremely happy. Good health, BMI is good and all. But
Very well.
still, some of them undergo some challenges. It's not always going up. There are some challenges here and there on various aspects. Correct? Now, can you offer them one or two or three tips or three tools on based on you have so much of interaction, so much of investment, so much of learning, two, three tips or two, three tricks or how you do go about addressing those challenges?
Beautiful. Now, let me introduce something called unrealistic expectations. Okay. Now, most of the challenges we face in life, in spite of having so many blessings, are having some unrealistic expectation. Now, I spoke about values, right? Every human being has a set of values. Now, when I expect myself to live in somebody's values, it could be fathers, mothers, parents, teachers, preachers, boss, super boss, some social leaders or spiritual leaders, religious leaders. When I try to live in somebody else's value, right, I cannot. That's an unrealistic expectation. So that leads to different emotional challenges. Second thing is expecting other person to live in my values, right? Let's say learning and education is a high value for me. And let's say sports, I'm just taking an example. Sports is a high value for my son. If I expect my son to study like me, it's an unrealistic expectation. If I push him too hard, then the relationship can snap off. So first thing is understanding that human being is committed to fulfillment of their authentic values and nothing else. And expecting you to live in others' value or expecting others to live in your values is futile. And it will cause depression, anger, frustration, different negative emotional charges. Second one is every human being has two sides. We have the God and the devil within us. We are nice and mean and kind and cruel, pleasant, unpleasant, sweet, bitter, kind, cruel, all. But social idealism makes us to always want to be the good side. When someone comes and tells you, Senthil, you are a nice person, great person, you're always kind, you're always pleasant, you're always sweet, you're generous, we feel nice and you receive all the compliments. Let's say someone comes and tells you the other side. Let's say, no, you're very mean, you're always angry, you're very stingy, you're always rapid. General tendency is we'll deflect the negative compliments, right? But in reality, we are both sides. And only when we embrace our hero side and villain side, our self-worth grows. Because we want to embrace only half of us, the good side, and deflect the half of us, which is the negative side, self-worth doesn't grow. And when self-worth doesn't grow, people get into low self-depreciation and not feeling worth enough. And that is the prime reason for various unrealistic expectations. And one more thing I want to share here is, like you asked me two questions, Demartini Method Facilitator and Demartini Values Facilitator. I explain what is Demartini Values Facilitator. Now, what is Demartini Method Facilitator is, like I said, we all have two sides. Now, Demartini Method is a method which helps a person to see their both sides. Right? Let's say I'm angry on my boss, thinking that he's very grumpy, very angry, always criticizing, yelling, insulting. I'm seeing only one side. I'm not seeing his other side. Right? And another one is that which I resent in others is a disowned part in me, which means I'm not owning the same negative traits in me. So the Demartini method helps in starting with that which you resent or hate, owning the traits, going and seeing where I'm doing it in my life, right? And seeing the other side of the person, the good side of the person, and seeing how that challenge is helping me to grow. Support keeps us in the safe zone. Only challenge helps us to break over the safe zone and grow, right? So seeing how the challenge is helping us, and also seeing if the challenge was not there, how we would have not grown in life. So the Demartini method helps in taking any kind of resentment, hatred, hurt, shame, guilt, fear, anxiety, even grief, and dissolve it to gratitude. See, most of the people here would have tried different things called letting go, Ho'oponopono therapy, forgiveness therapy, releasing the trash to dissolve emotions. All those, maybe surface level it will help, but the charge still stays deep inside, and anytime triggered, it can unfold. Demartini method helps in dissolving the charge at the root to take you to the level of gratitude.
Okay. So you are giving me a little bit on the, let's say, career aspect of it, boss and all. Now let
Yeah.
me get into the family aspect of it. Okay. So the basic foundation for anyone is the family. Okay. Most of the attendees here today have children in the age group of, let's say, 18 to 35. Their children are 18 to 35. All the attendees today. Okay.
Beautiful.
They have good amount of wealth. Some people have multi-generational wealth. When I say multi-generational, even for next 5 generations, they don't have to work. If
Perfect.
they want to sit and eat, they can eat it. But only thing is, what we are finding is that is the children are not internally inspired, to, for example, they start something, they don't finish it because of distraction. There's the loss of focus is there. Now, you would have come across, during your sessions, such kind of youngsters
Yes.
who are not able to concentrate, who are not able to complete a particular goal, right? They keep changing their highest priorities. This week my 2 weeks highest priority is cricket, 2 weeks highest priority is something else, right? So what are your 2 or 3 tips for both sides? One is parents, right? Because parents also go through, right? I have money, I have everything, but my children, I'm not able to do anything. So advice for parents and advice for children, how do you do it, please?
Beautiful. I'll take one live case and then so it become more easy.
Hmm.
So I had a client, the mother first came to me. She said, I have a 23-year-old son who is in college, who has got into drug addiction. Okay. And every day he's coming home after having whatever, marijuana or something. And then he's coming drowsy, coming very late in the night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, sleeping till 11:30 in the morning, not listening, fighting with father. Only son, no? Pampered son. So then she asked, can you help me? We had a discussion. And then I said, okay, let's do it. She said, before that, meet my husband. So father came, and then father was telling, my son is a spoiled brat. He doesn't listen to me. He's the nastiest guy. There's that, all allegations. I said, beautiful. Then I said, apart from shouting at him and yelling at him, are there moments when you also show some love and care and kindness to him? He said, which buffalo will show love to such a nasty pig? I said, sir, you have all the right as a parent to be tough. It's also important to balance it with a little bit of support, because only challenge causes burnout and they will go into instant gratifications. Right. So he broadly, it was difficult for him to digest, but he got the point. And then they brought the son. So we started 1 day workshop. And that day also he couldn't come on time, because previous day he had taken and came late. So his mother, 12 o'clock, she was supposed to come at 10:30. At 12 o'clock, she's saying he just got up. Please wait, I will bring him. 1 o'clock she came. Yeah. And got started with him. So primary thing is he didn't understand who he is. And he was constantly being hammered with, you are pig, you are donkey, you are useless, you are good for nothing, and not even a single piece of appreciation. So out of frustration, this guy has got into smoking, drinking, and subsequently narcotics and all that, to find some kind of fulfillment, right? So during the discussion, figured out his massive resentment was on father. So I took him through the values process. He was so happy. He was so glued on to see who is he at intrinsic level. And he saw that he was not living his highest value, living on injected values, particularly from dad, and therefore, which was not going well, upset. And we went through the dissolve process, dissolved his charge on his father, right? While his mother expected him not to sit more than 2-3 hours, this guy sat for the 10 hours, full workshop, dissolve done. And next day, I spoke to his mother, asking, how is he? He's saying first time he was speaking with little bit of respect to his dad, listening to his dad, and there was some kind of bondage opening with his father. And later I met his dad and said, now that your son is responding, start showing little bit of kindness towards him, he will start changing. Yeah. And then I did addiction dissolve. That's a different thing for further complementing. But the core was making him realize who is he at a deeper level, allowing him to align to his highest value, dissolving his deepest resentment on his father, which he carried for 10, 15 years. Shifted. He didn't need the drug for the fulfillment because the charge was no more there. Charge on father is over, right? And he started knowing who is he, and he started aligning life around that.
So how is he now? When was this happened? Like, how is he now? Are you in touch or something?
Yeah,
This
he's
happened.
out. He's out of drugs. He's doing his PG, and father and son are reasonably okay. Like they were North Pole and South Pole, but it's not like that. They keep talking, and sometimes they go out family lunch and dinners, which
Nice.
never happened for decades.
Okay, good. Now, there are situations where people, like, children are getting addicted to social media. They're getting addicted
Yes.
to mobile phones. They get addicted to Instagram. Like, Instagram gives you all kind of things to you, right? You keep scrolling down, and YouTube gives unnecessary advertisements. You can never avoid, depending upon the age group you start getting. Even if I do a browsing history, there are so many things are there. So it's not a big problem like what you said. The previous problem which you said was an extreme problem.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a normal problem, a
Yes.
normal problem which is impacting the productivity and the efficiency. We know that our children can do much better, but these things are doing it. So what do you like? Do you have something like
Yes.
quick fix or what do you do? Yeah.
Perfect. Now this is something again. It could be a little stretch for people to accommodate it. Human behavior is whatever parents excel, the children may not be in that field. Or if parents express certain thing, children suppress it. Or if parents suppress certain things, children express it. Okay. So if a parent has been very studious, hardworking, very diligent, listening to his parents, and doing all the things with so much of rigor and commitment and dedication, the kids could be little laid back, little taking things light, having fun, questioning everything, right? This is the divine order to have a balance at every level, at family level, at community level, at city level, state level, world level. Yeah, it's called law of heuristic escalation. What is law of heuristic escalation? Imposition of order will equal escalation of chaos. When you impose order, chaos will escalate. And when chaos, or if you impose chaos, order will come in place. So this is the divine order. Once we understand this, then we will not see that as something wrong, and instead see what is their highest value, help them in their highest value. And then, so what is okay, now relationship. If you expect another individual to live in your value, you will feel betrayed, because they are committed to fulfillment of their value and nothing else. In fact, okay, matured audience, right? I can share some deep stuff.
Yeah, correct. Sure.
Even
Yes.
nobody is committed to their organization. They are committed to fulfillment of their values. As long as the organization fulfills their values, they will stay in the organization. The day the organization challenges their values, they will quit.
Correct.
This we can digest. The next one may be difficult. Even relationships are the same. Nobody is committed to a marriage. As long as the husband is supporting the values of wife, you have a working marriage. The day the husband challenges the wife's values beyond her threshold, there are snacks in the marriage, and when it doesn't work, it snaps off. But so understanding that we are committed to fulfillment of your values. So the husband should know what is his values. He should know what is wife's values, and understand that he can't expect wife to live in value. He can't live in wife's values. Allow himself to live his value. Allow his wife to live in her values, and communicate in terms of each other's values without putting down the other person.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a very, very useful tip that you gave.